Hello, my name is Steven, and welcome to the Lighting, Shading, and Coloring lecture. Today we will be talking about how we can easily create different materials, as you can see here, how we can select colors for our game, and how to easily and consistently make the lighting of the game. First off, lighting. When you think about lighting and art and creating design, you might think, oh, okay, this is getting very hard. This is gonna be complicated. Well, not that much, at least not for when creating assets for games and when you want to make something that looks nice, animates easily, and is not too overcomplicated. First and most important thing, no matter if you're doing pixel art or any kind of art, is choose the direction of the light and stick to it. And we can see here the difference. So, we have two images of the skulls. In one direction, in the first one, we have something that's called pillow shading. So there is no particular source or direction of the light because we have light coming from here, light coming from here, light coming from here, right? There is no way to put a shadow on it because we have some blobs of light here, here, and here. So it's very hard to imagine from the where, if there's a lamp or light from the sun or so on, where does it come from? It's hard to put light sources in your game, and it's gonna look almost kind of weird. In this one, we straight away can understand from where the lighting comes. We can see the blobs of light here, 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 which straight away tells us that the light is coming from here, which of course makes it much easier to understand. Okay, then we need to make all these parts here darker, so they are in the shadow. So a player can easily understand, okay, so this object is directed in this direction. I understand that the game world is oriented in this direction. Pillow shading, like how we saw here, this can be quite nice and useful for menus because then we want the menus to pop. We don't want the menus normally to have a particular direction, except if our art style does not say that they need to have a particular light direction. But for games, you need to ask yourself, where does the sun comes from or where do the light sources come from? And even in a simple asset like a box here, you can see that straight away we have a light direction that comes from this way, as this part here is the most lighted. This one gets a bit less lighting, and this one is already shadowed. And we already needed 3 colors to demonstrate that. Again, some practical examples. Let's say in Shovel Knight, we straight away see that the light direction is coming from this side because both the kingdom here and the pine tree here have these color highlights. We can also see that the background is consistent. The foreground, we can see that, yes, the light is still coming from the top because this part here is in, let me change it to something more understandable. This part here is brighter and it goes darker as kind of it comes to our direction. The same is with the enemies, the light is coming on the top. If we look at the menus are more or less evenly lit with some only some specific little highlights. Again, in Blasphemous, we can see the same thing. Both the mountains here and the monastery and even the ground that our character is walking have light that comes from this direction. this gives a world the world a consistency, makes it easier to understand. For example, what is foreground, what is background. It directs the player. For example, we can have subtle directions. Let's say that the player needs to go this way. Then the light is shining from this way, so the player is kind of pushed to walk towards whatever this direction is.